What's up, guys? Dylan Sider with Kinfolk Carpentry here, and today we're going to be building a bookshelf right here. So this is a project I'm starting today, but I only have a day. I'm coming back in a little bit, maybe a week, a few days to finish it up. So I may not finish it in this video, but I'll give you the process of how I work through these things and where to start. And right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna draw up some stuff so I have a cut list. I messed up the footage here, so I'll give you a brief explanation. I'm building a bench from wall to wall underneath the window, and then there'll be a bookshelf that sits on top of the bench on each side. Plus, I'll be building a 40-inch wide bookshelf from floor to ceiling to the left of this existing bookshelf. And this is a little drawing here. I'm certainly no pro cabinet maker, but I'm figuring it out. So essentially what I'm starting with is my bench here, and I'm basically making 6 upright pieces all the same. So these are 3 separate cabinets I'm going to install. So I'm making these uprights right now. Got them ripped to width, and I'm just going to cross cut them with my track saw, and that's what I'm going to do. So working through it. So I grew up in working kind of in a cabinet shop that my dad and my grandpa ran. They are custom home builders, and they would build all their own cabinets for their projects. And I used to help out with building cabinets, but we did it definitely different because they had a full shop set up. We would dado out all the plywood so that they would lock together, glue, and nail it. Usually use a crown stapler. It makes for a great cabinet. And then when I first started, they would actually trim all the cabinets out on site and fit the doors and things. But then as time passed, they would pocket hole all their face frames, and then actually pocket hole them to the cabinet. And they have a huge shop now. It's like 11,000 square feet. And I don't even think my dad builds cabinets anymore. I think he hires all of his cabinets out. But I would never build a whole kitchen like this. But I do think it's a good, fairly inexpensive way to build some pretty strong cabinets, you know? So this is always fun, ripping full sheets of plywood on a portable table saw, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I've done it a lot, being a solo guy, so you learn how to do it without killing yourself. Alright, so I've showed this before on my channel. This is the little Craig shelf pin jig. I've actually used it quite a bit. It's very handy to just stay consistent. I make consistent marks from the bottom or top of my piece, and I just stick to those marks and just make sure you start and stop. the same point, and it all should work out. What I do to make sure I stay on the same point, just mark your bottoms, make sure that you're working off the same marks each time. Lay two pieces together, the ones that correspond with each other, mark up, and go for it. All right, so I am going to start assembling. I can't assemble outside because I've got a very tight stairwell that this has to go up. So I am doing all my work assembling it up here. So I think the key when you're doing kind of built-in cabinets like this is to think about what it's going to be like to trim it. Like for example, right now, the reason I'm putting the bottom of my cabinet where I'm putting it is because I want the baseboard that I'm going to be putting on the front of this to cover that up, and I want it to actually be a bit lower than this baseboard over here because I want it to die in and I don't want to have to get into that bead. So I made it so it'll just sit lower than that, and that's what kind of determines the height of my bottom. So this is the reason I'm not building all this stuff downstairs and where I've got lots more room. It's a very tight ceiling and 90 degrees and all that kind of stuff, but it's what I gotta deal with on this job. Frickin' bees. It's March. So this is the job I just did. I just put this kitchen in. And so this is actually my first priority, to do the trim here. So I'm jumping off those cabinets and I'm doing a little trim here because I couldn't do it this morning because the flooring guys were in here and I wanted to stay other way. So I'm starting with this. I actually had to make this morning. We didn't have some of the leftover trim. We saved some of it, or the guy I'm working for saved some of it, but we were missing a few pieces, so I had to make some just for the router bit. So obviously, I shorted myself on making trim. I need to make one more piece. I was like 2 inches short. I thought I would make it, but this is actually kind of a cool detail. I've never done this before. We're matching the old trim in the house, which is just like a double bead. It's kind of a good look. Alright, so this is where I kind of square the cabinet up, make sure I'm lining up on all my corners. Now I just pre-drill holes, and then honestly I like drywall screws for this. Got a nice coarse thread. 1.25 inches. So that's one down. I did check that this stands up, which is good. It's always nerve-wracking to see if you blew anything out on the inside, if you like missed with the screw, but seems to be good. So that is gonna sit about about 4 inches away over here, roughly, somewhere about there. And then another one will go right here. I gotta cut the baseboard out and move it over, but that's the dealio. Alright guys, I think this is where I'm going to wrap this video up. Drop a comment, let me know how you guys like to build cabinets on site. I'd love to hear your input, and we will see you on the next video where I potentially wrap this project up. Peace.